I'm gonna do your, I'm gonna do your, I'm gonna do your, I'm gonna do your, I'm gonna hold on to your word. Yeah.
South Carolina State University removed Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette as its spring 2026 commencement speaker following intense student protests and concerns regarding her opposition to diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) programs as reported by South Carolina Public Radio and WLTX. Students and leaders at the historically black university argued her values did not align with their mission. And she even called them a woke mob. Now, how are you going to speak to a bunch of college graduates and you're going to refer to them as a mob? You didn't refer to those people on the insurrection as a mob. President Alexander Conyers decided to move in a different direction for the May 8th, 2026 ceremony, citing safety concerns and the need to focus on student accomplishments. Yeah, and them students protesting right now to have you removed and to have that board member removed. Students held sit-ins and created a petition opposing her, noting her opposition to DEI, supporting for cutting funding for certain programs, and past comments. Lieutenant Governor Evette termed protesters a woke mob and asserted that Republicans have supported HBCUs despite the backlash. She is a Republican candidate for governor and a vocal supporter of the Orange Man. The invitation was originally extended based on her background as a business leader, according to the South Carolina Daily Gazette and WLTX. Following the rescinded invitation, some members of the South Carolina Freedom Caucus requested to defund the university. So now you have South Carolina State University disinviting Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette. And I can't say I blame them. South Carolina State is a beautiful campus. I've been there to go to a religious meeting. It was like a joint meeting of different Christian faiths, and I was glad to participate in that, and I need to get back to do more community work. But it really bothers me that we live in a climate where we're supposed to have freedom of speech, but yet we do not have freedom of speech. If you say anything against this Republican regime, you are subject to lose your house, your car, and even your life. And it's not fair that the late Charlie Kirk could say anything they want to say. And not so long ago, I think a North Carolina legislator said that we sat under a racist president that was a queer president for 8 years, but nobody does anything to a Republican. I don't agree. And our constitutional rights are continuously being violated. And the longer this man stays in office, this orange man, this diabolical man, the longer he stays in the office, more damage he does to this country. And I don't even know if we could ever recover from the damage that this administration has done. And they act like they're scared of him. What does he have on you? What does he have? Well, you're in the Epstein. At this point, we don't even care. We just want him gone. And I'm tired of people calling black people woke. because we speak up for ourselves and we're not going to put up with the foolishness. And then the fact that African American, someone with melanated skin, suggested this person. Something is wrong with black Republicans. Your elevator don't go all the way to the top. And I hate to sound insulting like that, because somebody needs to shock you and wake you up. And then you talk to foolish, ignorant people who say, well, we don't need HBCUs anymore. Well, I lived in the South, and I've gone to white universities, and I'm going to tell you they did not want me there. I've had professors who tried to fail me. I've had a professor who tried to say I forged my signatures on my internship paperwork. I can't even write. My handwriting, my cursive writing, and my print is terrible. And there's no way in the world I could have made up different types of handwriting. You know, she just outright lied. They did not want me to get this professional degree. And it was so that I had to write the governor. I had to write the board. I had to write some legislators I went to school with. Oh, because I wasn't going back down. Oh, no, I wasn't going to back down. And then you say that you don't need HBCUs. Are you really that blind to what this administration is doing? Everything they're doing is trying to destroy the middle class and to send us 500 years back. And what people don't realize, that includes white women. That includes white women. They are, and if you have never seen the television show called The Handmaid's Tale, you need to watch it, because this is the ideal. This is the kind of society that they want, where white rich men are authoritarians. They have all the power. All women are in servitude positions, subservient positions. You have no rights. And if you disobey, they cut out your tongue, they cut off your fingers. You need to watch The Handmaid's Tale or read the book. It's an eye-opener. Very disturbing logic, very disturbing attitudes that they have in this book. And we can't say anything, but then you can say anything you want. Freedom of speech generally means the right to express ideas, opinions, and belief without undue interference or punishment by the government. You do not have the right to punish us and close HBCUs because they decided to disinvite you because you made some inappropriate remarks about DEI, which is the problem. Really, is DEI really benefits white women. It really doesn't help black people. In the United States, this right is protected by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, which prevents Congress and other levels of government from restricting most forms of expression. That said, freedom of speech isn't absolute. Certain categories like threats, incitement to imminent violence, or some forms of defamation can be restricted by law. And they really, what we're saying between the Republicans and the Democrats is that they publicly support free speech, but they often differ on the types of speech that should be protected, when limits are justified, and how those limits should be enforced. I'm very disappointed in this situation, and the fact that 9 South Carolina legislators would say that they want to defund the school just because she doesn't, because they don't want this person at their commencement. And they shouldn't have. I wouldn't even attend if she was going to be the speaker. It's almost like asking a Klansman to be the speaker. And I guess she thinks that we're pushing our beliefs and what we observe and what we consider as racism. We're pushing these views too far. But I'm disappointed. And I pray that these Republicans do not decide to vote in that favor. I hope they have a lot of opposition against that. I'm going to be calling my local congressperson because this is ridiculous. You know, I personally believe the Republicans need to be charged with treason at this point because they have let these people, they're out of control. You let that orange person do whatever he wants to do, say whatever he wants to say, and this attitude and demeanor has trickled down in every form of our government. Now we have no rights. If we say anything to make them mad, they want to, nobody's shutting down Clemson. Nobody's shutting down USC Columbia, and that's a racist school. My daddy said that, and I lived through it. Limestone got shut down. They were a racist school because one of the professors said to a person who was trying to apply, well, you think you something because you got a doctorate. You think you something and you think you all that and you ain't all that. So the person reported them and filed discrimination. They went through all type of channels, and Limestone University ended up going through a mediation. And they had to promise to teach or make their professors go through culture training. But guess what? God don't like ugly. God never failed. The university closed. I don't know if it went bankrupt or what happened. Limestone University is closed. God doesn't like ugly, just like God doesn't like BB&T, and that bank is closed. Keep messing with God's people. Touch not my anointing. And I mean real anointed people who live the life. And not saved from the waist up, but saved from head to toe. Not living any kind of life in here. And that's why that school closed. USC don't watch out. They're going to be closed next. But I'm very disappointed in this attitude and this regime that we have to be subjected to, all this foolishness. And I can't wait till November. But I'm very disturbed that the Supreme Court is now saying that voting is no longer a federal right. And I hope that these Republican states are not going to try to be crazy and deny us the right to vote. Or they're going to make you show all these documents. So what's going to happen? Our people who are not melanated, you're going to have to turn out in record numbers because I don't even know if we're going to have the right to vote and if they're going to stop women from voting. We need to vote all these people out. They're not doing anything. I never seen an administration that puts people out of work. You take over 300,000 jobs from black women. You take federal jobs from all these black people. You let your farms from white Americans go bankrupt in the Midwest. I just never seen anything about it like this. All the people who were the workforce for the farms, you ship them out and say they're illegal aliens. But the last time I checked, your grandfather came to this country. Our families have been here longer than your family. As far as I'm concerned, those people are not illegal immigrants. Maybe you are. But this is very disturbing. The attitudes, the dispositions that we're subjected to, I'm very hurt by it.
Heard about what's happening on the campus of SC State University. Let's be clear, facts trump feelings in the real world. President Trump and conservatives have done more for HBCUs than any administration in history.
Lies!
I'm doing something right because woke mobs are coming after me for being a champion of eliminating radical DEI scams on college campuses.
Lies!
So bring it on. Just like President Trump, I'll never back down or bend a knee to the woke radicals. I'm ending DEI on campuses once and for all. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a lot more to say about this later. In the meantime,
questions about the historically black university, South Carolina State. We're following your clicks and curiosity, and it looks like you guys want to know why Republican lawmakers are calling to defund the state's only HBCU, and how a student-led protest led to the university uninviting the lieutenant governor from speaking at this year's commencement. So let's break it down. We've got our Faith Abube and up first, and then we will speak to student protest leader Cameron Sutton. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with Faith, who's been following this story for us. Faith, first of all, welcome to Search. But why are Republican lawmakers in South Carolina calling to defund the state's only HBCU?
Well, Ashton, this is a story that a lot of people have been talking about, getting a buzz from a lot of people, not just in South Carolina. And right now, lawmakers, according to a post that was shared by the Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina, they're circulating, some Republicans in the State House are circulating a letter asking for the university to be unfunded in the next spending bill that is coming up here soon. And the reason being that the Lieutenant Governor was uninvited as a commencement speaker at that university, the HBCU, South Carolina State University. Students started protesting earlier this week, saying that they did not want her to be on campus to be their commencement speaker, and the university decided to uninvite her, and now Republicans are pushing back, calling this inexcusable, and it's shameful that a university that is funded by taxpayers has now uninvited a political leader who they do not agree with, and that is how they're framing it. We don't know how much support this has just yet, but we know a handful of Republicans have signed on to that letter. Ashton.
Yeah, Faith, what are some of the motivations behind those protests? Like, why was South Carolina's lieutenant governor actually uninvited? How did the pressure get to the university?
Well, students found out earlier this week that she was invited back in December, according to her, invited in December to be the commencement speaker. The university said they invited her because she's an entrepreneur. She's a female entrepreneur who started a small business and grew it to a multi-million-dollar corporation. And so they wanted her to come speak to the students in a way that would inspire them. But the students were not having it. They found out, according to them specifically, about the way she's been doubling down on cutting DEI initiatives. These are diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives on a historically black college and university campus, an HBCU. South Carolina State University is the only HBCU in the state of South Carolina, and it's also part of a bigger system across this country that started before the 1960s because black people were being discriminated against, and so these students took issue with the fact that the university was inviting someone who wanted to gut DEI initiatives.
Yeah, just seeing the video right now, Faith, of these protests, they certainly look active. How is the lieutenant governor actually responding?
Well, she's defiant. She's unapologetic. She says she's not going to apologize. In fact, she called the student protesters woke mobs and said that the fact that she's been uninvited is another reason why DEI initiatives need to be cut from college university campuses because, in her words, students are being indoctrinated. Ashen.
Faith, thank you so much. Let's now bring in South Carolina State University student protest leader Cameron Sutton. He's on campus right now. Cameron, why did students protest Lieutenant Governor as the commencement speaker, and what's it like on campus now? How's the sentiment been like for you?
So for us, it was mainly just about the morals. We understand that she doesn't stand for what we stand for, so we wouldn't allow her the opportunity to speak here. We understand that she is an amazing woman, but just her moralities and the things she stands for, like taking away DEI for HBCU, it just can't be had on our campus, and it's amazing on campus. We all are filled with energy that is due for a win, energy that deserves to be shown during our win.
Yeah, Cameron, how did you and other student protest leaders react to the calls to defund your school? Did you see that coming when the protest started? And how are you guys responding now?
No, we never seen it coming. But we understood that standing on what we believe will always come with repercussions when you have somebody that doesn't believe in the same thing as you.
Cameron, what's the response now? Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Finish.
Yeah, Cameron, what's the response now? I mean, how do you take these sort of threats to be defunded and translate them into making sure that you guys achieve what it is that you'd like to see happen?
Well, one, we hope that they were just threats, because this is not their first time trying to defund a school for using their First Amendment right. Also, we understand that the only way we can change this is by voting. We must go out to the polls. We must register to vote. And come November, we must vote. We must act on what we say. If every student we have at the protests for these last 2 days, these protests that will happen within this week, that may ever happen, as long as you go vote, we can change, and that can be the change.
Cameron, you're just a sophomore. Do you feel supported by the university in this time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know it's nothing but love from my Bulldogs family. Bulldog tenacity and Bulldog pride is something that runs deep within all of our veins. So being out there protesting, standing up for our school and what we believe, it felt amazing, and it made me understand how one person can bring everybody together, but it just only doesn't take one person.
Yeah, Cameron, how do you hope to use this experience to move forward? Especially, I guess it matters what the outcome actually is, but what are you and other student protest leaders hoping to do next?
We hope to get people out to the ballots and vote. We hope that people will stay educated on their legislation, their government, and every chain of command that there is. Being educated can protect you from so much, because if we were uneducated, if we were the mob that she said we would have never protested. We would have never been out there. But because we understand what is at stake and we understand what she stands for, we cannot let her speak and try to encourage students that she can never truly encourage.
All right.
We must register to vote, and come November, we must vote. We must act on what we say. If every student we have at the protests for these last 2 days, these protests that will happen within this week, that may ever happen, as long as you go vote, we can change, and that can be the change.
Cameron, you're just a sophomore. Do you feel supported by the university in this time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know it's nothing but love from my Bulldogs family. Bulldog tenacity and Bulldog pride is something that runs deep within all of our veins. So being out there protesting, standing up for our school and what we believe, it felt amazing, and it made me understand how one person can bring everybody together, but it just only doesn't take one person.
Yeah, Cameron, how do you hope to use this experience student protest leaders hoping to do next?
We hope to get people out to the ballots and vote. We hope that people will stay educated on their legislation, their government, and every chain of command that there is. Being educated can protect you from so much, because if we were uneducated, if we were the mob that she said we would have never protested. We would have never been out there. But because we understand what is at stake and we understand what she stands for, we cannot let her speak and try to encourage students that she can never truly encourage.
We are just the word.
We are not a mob. We are just the word. We are not a mob. We are just the word. We are not a mob. We are just the word. We are just the word. We are not a mob. We are just the word. We are not a mob.
We are just the word.
We are not a mob. We are just the word. We are not a mob. We are just the word. We are not a mob. We are just the word.
Is from the videos I saw, I was in Washington with our president, invited to be at the White House that day, and we're seeing all kind of pictures coming back. I mean, let's just start calling things for what they are and stop being, that is what it was. I don't understand why it turned into that. I wish somebody would ask the students, like, what basis caused you to spin up when in December your college asked this office to have me come and speak, like I have at many college commencement ceremonies across our state. No, I don't plan on apologizing. I mean, that is from the videos I saw. I was in Washington with our president, invited to be at the White House that day, and we're seeing all kind of pictures coming back. I mean, let's just start calling things for what they are and stop being, that is what it was. I don't understand why it turned into that. I wish somebody would ask the students, like, what basis caused you to spin up when in December your college asked this office to have me come and speak, like I have at many college commencement ceremonies across our state.
Student voices led to a major change ahead of graduation. Earlier this week, the University of South Carolina State announced Lieutenant Governor Pam Evette as its commencement speaker. Shortly after, students organized a protest on campus, expressing concerns about the selection and saying they felt excluded from the decision making process. Many students also directed their feedback to the university leadership, calling for a speaker they believe better reflects the student body and its values. Here's a video.
Great representation. I acknowledge your concern.
Here's where the disconnect comes in. I want to be clear about this. This is not a black and white issue.
Oh, no.
This isn't a political issue. It's not a Democratic or Republican Party issue. It's not about that. It's a morality issue. We're here. We've been here for 4 or 5 years. Commencement, we should have someone who's going to celebrate.
Then, within 24 hours of those demonstrations, the Post and Courier reported that Evette would no longer serve as the commencement speaker. Evette later addressed the backlash, responding to criticism that followed the protest.
Today I heard about what's happening on the campus of SC State University. Let's be clear, facts trump feelings in the real world. President Trump and conservatives have done more for HBCUs than any administration in history. I'm ending DEI on campuses once and for all.
As commitment approaches, attention now turns to who will replace the speaker and what this moment means for student engagement and leadership moving forward. In the span of just a few days, student voices led to a major change ahead of graduation. Earlier this week, the University of South Carolina State announced Lieutenant Governor Pam Evette as its commencement speaker. Shortly after, students organized a protest on campus, expressing concerns about the selection and saying they felt excluded from the decision-making process. Many students also directed their feedback to the university leadership, calling for a speaker they believe better reflects the student body and its values. Here's a video.
Great representation. I acknowledge your concern.
Here's where the disconnect comes in. I want to be clear about this. This is not a black and white issue.
Oh, no.
This isn't a political issue. It's not a Democratic or Republican Party issue. It's not about that. It's a morality issue. We're here. We've been here for 4 or 5 years. Commencement, we should have someone who's going to celebrate.
Then, within 24 hours of those demonstrations, the Post and Courier reported that Evette would no longer serve as the commencement speaker. Evette later addressed the backlash, responding to criticism that followed the protest.
Today I heard about what's happening on the campus of SC State University. Let's be clear, facts trump feelings in the real world. President Trump and conservatives have done more for HBCUs than any administration in history. I'm ending DEI on campuses once and for all.
His commitment.
These people are just delusional, and they believe whatever lie Orange tells them, 4547 tells them, they believe any lie. These students were not a mob. A mob is a large, disorderly, I didn't see anybody disorderly. I saw an organized protest reflecting the concerns of the students. An often violent crowd of people or a criminal organization. I didn't see any violence in these protests. I saw future doctors, lawyers, engineers, teachers, actors, actresses, entrepreneurs, business owners. I saw the future. A crowd, someone in excitement or anger. I didn't see that. I didn't see a gang. I didn't see a mob. I didn't see anybody bent on destruction. I didn't see any riots. I didn't see anyone that was aggressive, and they had a unified belief that they intelligently addressed. And no, this woman and any other Republican do not have your best interests at heart. They want to wipe you off the face of the earth. They want to ensure that you don't have a future. They don't want you to have a job. They don't even want you on this planet. They would prefer if you were unalive, okay? That's how I feel like this regime feels about people of color and people with melanated skin. They just tossed the Latinos out of here like they were yesterday's garbage. Separated from their husbands, separated from wives, separated from parents, separated from children, and families don't know where they are. Put in countries where they don't understand the language, and put in internment camps. It's a shame before God. And I can't stand what this administration is doing. And they cause more disruption, more distractions to get you off paying attention to the war in Iran, paying attention to the diabolical decision that the Supreme Court made yesterday in regards to voting. You no longer have the federal right to vote, and you're basically left at the mercy of the states. And we don't know what they're going to do. So I understand these students' pain. And I have always been a person who advocated for myself and others, and someone that's always spoke up against racism and evil. And I'm so proud that they're doing the same. All of this foolishness has to stop.
I will give you praise forever for the rest of my days.